Well, guys, I've been tracking the Canary ETF for Hedera, and I'll be honest, it did way better than I thought. I thought it was going to do like okay. To be honest, I mean, I totally thought it would do okay-ish, but not amazing. It's actually doing pretty amazing. So why don't we take a look at the latest around the Canary HBAR ETF? Still over 387 million, over 0.77% max supply on a down crypto week. So this is the amount that is currently in the Canary ETF, the HBAR ETF. It is 387 million HBAR, which has a market value right now of about 63 million. Now it was a little higher because HBAR was higher, so it's actually gone up. Oh, by the way, it's a green blue algo saying that remember when you had to answer a door when Amazon dropped off a package, they would sit there and ring your doorbell. Yeah, I just had someone ring my doorbell while I was in the middle of that segment. It's annoying. Anyway, so that's pretty good, by the way. We kind of covered this more. Now, why didn't I think this would do that well? I didn't think the institutions would have institutional investors, like the traditional investors. I just didn't think they would have enough knowledge of HBAR to actually support this thing in the early days. I thought it would take a while because a lot of the boomer set, they're just getting used to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And a lot of these money managers, they're getting asked about it. They're getting like really basic questions about Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're not on to Ethereum yet, or to HBAR yet, but it sounds like a lot of people are, which is pretty impressive. Now, by the way, and I want to talk about this a little bit because as per Token Terminal, Hedera has the second largest core developer pool across all L1s, and that is core developers is 204 for Ethereum, 129 for Hedera, Cosmos 92, Internet Computer 90, etc. Going down Sui, Polkadot, Kusama, Cardano. Supposedly, Algorand is like 6. So I don't know, what does this mean? What is a core developer? Because they talked about the project. Are they talking about, actually working on the chain? Is that what they're talking about? Or are they talking about like building projects that are on the chain? I don't really understand it. So does anyone like actually question this? How many developers in the private GitHub repository? That's a question I have. Oh, there we are. Looks like we're back. I saw that we disconnected for a second there. That sucks. Oddly enough, we came back with more viewers than we had. All right, let's keep going. Philippines Department of Science and Technology, Hashgraph Group, have officially begun their collaboration with the signing of an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, at THG's headquarters in Switzerland. DOST is responsible for leading and coordinating all scientific and technology efforts in the country. So it looks like HBAR is going to be at the bottom of all the science and technology department going on in the Philippines. Actually, I guess it would be Switzerland. That's a lot of acronyms. That's a lot to keep track of there. But it seems like good news for HBAR. If you're an HBAR fan, you like to see spread of the ecosystem. Now, I thought this was interesting. We've been talking about privacy coins. John Allen Woods, just on my show yesterday, huge advocate of privacy, thinks privacy is a human right. I kind of agree with that. I think we're both a little bit on the libertarian side, so we both think privacy. You should be able to keep your business your own business, in my opinion. Breaking HBAR becomes a privacy coin through subnets and competes with Zcash and Monero, in case you're wondering what those are. Hedera private spheres, such as HashSphere, are private permission networks built using the same core technology as the public Hedera network. They are designed for organizations that need the security and compliance of traditional private network while also wanting the benefits of Hedera's distributed ledger technology, such as scalability and performance. Kind of important. These private spheres allow for confidential transactions without public exposure and can be interconnected with the public Hedera mainnet. So that's cool. You know, if you're privacy is a really important aspect in crypto. And I know we talk a lot about public and public blockchain, and I think the privacy layer is good. I think you're going to see businesses wanting to make use of this for payments. That's going to be an interesting element to see for enterprise, I think. And, you know, for regular people, they're going to want this too. But, you know, as they say, private network solutions that scales with your organization and DLT journey. So, you know, this is a HashSphere clearly aimed at the enterprise customer, but, you know, that doesn't mean they won't have a retail solution too. You just don't know really. What else we got here? And did you guys see this? There's a couple of partnerships here. Hedera, by integrating with Chainlink, Hedera enables developers to build secure cross-chain DeFi and tokenized RWA applications with trusted data and seamless interoperability. Explore how we are shaping a connected, transparent, on-chain economy together. Someone says, damn, Chainlink is popping up everywhere with collaborations and partnerships nonstop. It's true. So is Hedera, apparently. We're going to get to that in a second, but like everything but Algorand, which I still want to see. I know it's expensive. I think it's one of the things that Algorand should pay for. Hedera obviously understands the integration and why it's important. I think Chainlink is one of the better things in crypto. You know, it's just they built an actual business model. They have you know, and you can argue whether some of the chains should have a business model, but I think if they're going to be self-sustaining, at least that has to be part of the equation. And so Chainlink has done a good job of that. I like how they're taking their off-chain revenues and putting them on-chain, so the token holders benefit from those partnerships. And so this is very positive for Hedera. You know, I think it's just really important to be connected to Chainlink at this point. Chainlink is clearly emerging as the winner in this space, and I think this is a really smart idea from Hedera. And not the only one, by the way. You could say this officially closes the loop. Quant and Hedera, no longer just ties, now officially documented. So now these are working group and sandbox participants in the global digital finance, Onera, EY, Hogan Levels. We got Besu, Canton Network, Corda, Ethereum, Hedera, Polygon, and Stellar. While no official partnership, the ties are definitely evident, is now it's evident. So this one just kind of lays out all the different areas where they're tied together. Accenture, IBM, which uses both Hedera and Quant. Accenture uses Hedera and Quant. Palo Tasca, Gov UK, Lloyds Bank, Monetary Authority, Singapore. It's no coincidence that both Quant and Hedera were two of the 4 DLTs listed as Discover members at Cbos Ether, but as we've seen, it goes much deeper than just the financial sector, but also into tech giants, consultancy leaders, government entities, standards, and more. The world of enterprises and corporations all see the alignment here. As you guys probably know, Quant and Hedera are 2 of the DLTs that I see some of the most long-term enterprise and institutional scale use with. From what we see, they build towards the same path. Now, I don't know a ton about Quant, I'll be honest. But I like how they kind of laid this out here, and I like that there seem to be a lot of connections between the two. Like I said, now officially documented, so we got a nice partnership between Quant and HBAR, and yeah, maybe I'll have to look more into Quant now that it's got these strong ties with HBAR. But I'm huge on HBAR. Let's check on the HBAR price really quick. Oops. Yeah, up about 7% on the 24 hours, so good, but not necessarily great. It's a nice little run up. Obviously, we were much higher a week ago. This is the 1 hour. Let's go to let's look at the weekly. We're definitely still down 8%. Hedera really pumped up with the news of the Canary ETF. In fact, is this it here? No, this is. Wait, what did we go to? I feel like this isn't showing me what I want to see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I believe this is the Canary run up. You can see we got up to over 21. In fact, a little flash on the 4 hour up to almost 22. Yeah, it's been kind of climbing down as most crypto has. Nice little pump in the last 24 hours or so. So starting to go the right direction for Hedera. In fact, we can put the indicators on too. Just give me a second to add those. It never really hit below that 30, and it never really hit oversold territory. Kind of bounced off of it, which is maybe a signal of its strength. It definitely got into oversold. I mean, we were overbought. We were very much an overbought during that little canary pump that we had, but yeah, kind of holding steady now, right in the mid range of the RSI. So not really overbought, not really oversold, which means this might have a little more leg to run. Now, this was different in Algorand. Remember, when we looked at Algorand, it was already into oversold territory, but we're about mid range on this one. So yeah, nice to see that from Hedera. I think that institutional adoption is huge, especially since they got it before the XRP one. That's really big. Don't discount that for sure. So